All right, guys, let's talk some fun tweets from some new Chiefs players, wish Deon Sorensen a proper goodbye, dive into both Marquez Valdes-Scantling's and Deshaun Watson's media pressers, and more. But first, how about those? What's up, guys? My name is Cole, and I do daily news about the Kansas City Chiefs and the NFL overall. So make sure to sub if you're new around here, hit that like button, check the description for the timestamps if you want to skip around, and let's get into it. To start off, let's go with something light. Jermaine Carter Jr. officially signed with the Kansas City Chiefs yesterday. He's a former Panthers linebacker who started every game last season, in which he totaled up 88 tackles, 3 tackles for loss, a pass breakup, and a fumble recovery. He served as the weak side linebacker in Carolina, which is a role he figures to serve here in KC, and I can neither confirm nor deny this, but he may be filling Ben Niemann's role. Time will tell there. Anyway, after signing, he first tweeted Chiefs Kingdom with this gif, and then tweeted out his surprise to how fast Ian Rapoport announced his signing with the Chiefs, saying, "That was fast. Was he sitting in the room when I signed? LMAO. Ian actually responded saying, "Look behind you." But speaking of players having fun with things on social media, let's talk about Deon Bush, the new safety that the Chiefs recently signed, who was previously with the Bears and played over 60% of their special team snaps over the past 4 years. Well, he originally tweeted out hello to Chiefs Kingdom when he signed, which was unfortunately the same time around the Tyreek Hill trade got announced. Well, he got some pretty hilarious responses, to be honest. One said, "Not now, Deon, read the room." Another said, "Deon walking in on his first day," with this gif. And I'm not gonna lie, the first time I saw this, I laughed out loud. Anyway, he later tweeted out that day saying, "My bad, I'll hit y'all later." Well, just yesterday, and notably after the Deon Sorensen announcement that Sorensen was getting signed to the Saints, he tweeted out again saying, "Chiefs Kingdom, what's up?" Eyeball emoji with this gif, basically saying, "Is it safe to come out now?" Juan Thornhill actually responded to it saying, "What's up, bro? I think it might be safe now. Let's get it." One comment asked him if he's tried any barbecue yet, and he said, "Not yet. What's the best spots?" And I was actually a little bit ashamed by how many people were telling him to go to Q39 as his first attempt at KC barbecue. I may catch flack for this, y'all, but that's like the newest barbecue spot in town. What are y'all doing? He needs some Gates, Big T's, Joe's, Jack Stack, Arthur Bryant's in his life. I digress on this. Q39 is good, but it is not the best representation, in my opinion, of Kansas City barbecue, nor the truest. What are your thoughts? Do you agree with me? Comment down below the first barbecue joint someone should try when they come to KC. I'm not necessarily talking about the best place, but the most Kansas City barbecue location you can think of. Anyway, let's move on from here. I did a video on this yesterday, but I do want to pay proper respect to Deon Sorensen. Yes, it's true. He was signed to the New Orleans Saints on a 1-year deal, and it's also true that many fans are probably happy that he's gone. I think in the wake of Tyreek leaving, Deon Sorensen's moving on doesn't sting like I thought it would, though I think it should, and here's why. Dirty Dan first signed with the Chiefs as an undrafted free agent out of BYU following the 2014 NFL Draft. He was the longest tenured member of the team as of the 2021 NFL season. He is a true Kansas City veteran who worked his way up from special teamer, becoming a key contributor on defense over the years, playing numerous roles such as dime linebacker and safety. And we cannot forget a couple plays from our Super Bowl winning season. He was responsible for stopping a fake punt against the Houston Texans in the 2019 AFC divisional round of the playoffs, a sequence that helped energize the Chiefs' 51-31 comeback victory. And the irony here to me is that guy he tackled on that fake punt was actually Justin Reed. Thought that was worth noting. Anyway, the Chiefs would ride that momentum to their first Super Bowl championship in 50 years. Sorensen also caused a momentum-changing fumble near the end zone against the Cleveland Browns in the AFC divisional round victory in 2020. Pretty controversial, kind of used his helmet there, but yeah, these are some memories that we need to think of with Deon Sorensen and not just him getting scorched last season. We have to remember, he's been around here for 8 years. So looking over the bigger picture of his tenure here in KC, to me, is more important than just looking at last year in general. This man is a man that bleeds red and gold and will more than likely retire a Chief. He finished his career with the Chiefs having appeared in 111 games with 39 starts, and during that span, he recorded 407 tackles, 19 tackles for loss, 4.5 sacks, 12 interceptions, 33 passes defended, 4 forced fumbles, and 4 fumble recoveries. So in all seriousness, a proper send-off. Thank you for everything, Dirty Dan Sorensen. And then yesterday, Marquez Valdes-Scantling had his introductory presser with the KC media, and he said the Tyreek Hill trade actually played a role in him signing with the Chiefs, saying it was a huge factor.
Kansas City wasn't really on my radar, and my agent called me and said, hey, Tyreek may be traded out of there. Would you be interested in hearing what they have to say? I said, yeah, of course I'll be interested. I would love to play with Pat, and they're doing a lot of great things, and they're competing for championships year in and year out. I've turned down a bunch of other deals for more money because I just didn't want to go and lose. And, it's not always about the money. That was a factor in why my decision hadn't been made for a week.
So when it all came down to it, winning and fit were the most important thing to Valdes-Scantling. Interesting to note, because we know Hill basically left for money. He walked into the building, looked at the roster, and saw all the turnover in the wideout room with D-Rob, Pringle, and Hill all leaving, and MVS knew he could help make a difference here and provide a spark for the offense. He made sure to mention he's not Tyreek. He's his own player with his own skill set, and then he mentioned that right when he landed in KC to come and just do initial talks with the Chiefs, Mahomes called him. He said, quote, he called me as soon as I landed in KC and told me how badly he wanted me out there. That was good to even just hear that. As soon as I signed, he was also one of the first people to call me and reach out and say how excited he was. Then we talked about possibly going to Texas and getting some throws in with him and some of the other guys. He said the opportunity he has to build something long-term with Pat is life-changing, and that's cool to note to me because he played with Aaron Rodgers over the last 4 years and has learned a lot from top receiver Davante Adams. So I think this is a great opportunity for him, and he will provide some awesome leadership in the locker room and on the field. What do you guys think? Are you excited about MVS and his new chapter with the Chiefs? Let me know in the comments down below. And also, if you guys want to watch the full presser, the link is in the description. And in other NFL news, former Bengals free agent offensive lineman Fred Johnson is signing a 1-year contract with the Bucs. The Dolphins converted cornerback Byron Jones's base salary into a signing bonus, creating over $10 million in 2022 cap space, and also added another $750K in cap space by reworking Clayton F's contract. His last name is a beast. I don't want to butcher it, but we know with Tyreek and Terron Armstead coming aboard, they need the cap space badly, and Byron Jones had a funny response to this. He tweeted out saying, me restructuring my contract just to have Tyreek Hill burn me every day in practice. Clown emojis. Pretty funny to me. And then the Bears have explored trades for Nick Foles. With the addition of Simeon, definitely expect that to continue. And some sad news here, Wayne Mackie, a longtime NFL official and member of the NFL officiating staff, died suddenly the other night at the age of 62. Known as one of the kindest, nicest, most genuine men in football, Mackie was among the NFL's best and served as head linesman for Super Bowl 50. And then Tyrann Mathieu reportedly could have signed with the team already in free agency, but Ian Rapoport says he's waiting and being patient for a contract that he believes he is worth. Ian Rapoport also reports that other teams could be interested in Baker Mayfield, but not for the price of his current contract. He basically says the Browns would need to eat some of that money in order for Mayfield to be more seriously considered, and he then says there's a scenario that isn't ideal here, but it could certainly play out, and that is this. Mayfield is not traded and starts for the team for the length of time that Deshaun Watson gets suspended by the league. That's a wild scenario for me to think about. I mean, just imagine being Mayfield. Yeah, they don't want me here. They actually want me gone, but yeah, sure, I'll just fill in the role for their new star quarterback until he's out of trouble, and then I'm benched or gone. But honestly, they're well within their rights to do that as Baker is still under contract. So that could really happen. And then speaking of Deshaun Watson, and probably the biggest news yesterday, he passed his physical, signed his 5-year, $230 million deal, then had a press conference with the media, and it was an interesting one to say the least. Browns GM Andrew Berry started out saying, "We as an organization know that this transaction has been very difficult for many people, particularly women in our community. We realize that it has triggered a range of emotions, and that, as well as the nature of the allegations, weighed heavily on all of us." He then details all the steps they took to research Deshaun, his history, talk with his close friends and family, and use a third party to investigate matters even more deeply into all of this. They said they used a third party because they were looking for someone who was not biased and just wanted to seek the truth and get the best understanding they could of the entire situation, which is ultimately why they were confident in their decision to move forward with Watson. Sam McDowell with the KC Star says, "So they spent 5 months talking to one side of the story and were left with a good impression of the person. Who could have seen that coming?" Yeah, so basically this whole thing is a mess, and any team that would have signed him would have been facing this much scrutiny and maybe even more. But yeah, everyone that was at this presser basically got grilled repeatedly by the media, and I don't really fault the media for asking the tough questions by any means, but yeah, it was very tough to watch. Watson eventually spoke, thanked the owners for the opportunity, and was immediately asked about his allegations and all that craziness. He responded saying, "I understand the whole circumstances is very difficult, especially for the women's side of the fans in this community. I'm not naive to that. I know these allegations is very, very serious, but like I mentioned before, I've never assaulted any woman. I've never disrespected any woman." And he continued to maintain his innocence. He was asked if he would consider counseling to go above and beyond the situation moving forward, and responded that he had a hard time thinking about doing counseling because he doesn't have a problem. There is no issue, and he intends to fight each allegation to prove his innocence and does not plan on settling the suits. So yeah, there's all that. He then confirmed the Browns' contract details came after. He told his agents to call Cleveland back and tell him he wanted to land there. Quote, "I knew Cleveland was the best situation from a football standpoint." And honestly, there's a lot more to this presser afterwards. The owners of the Browns spoke to the media as well, but they didn't attend in person, but via a Zoom call because they were out of the country or out of state or something. But my question is this: why in the heck were they not in town for this? Something this important and of this magnitude, and the owners, in my opinion, really should have been there. Not a good look at all. Kimberly Martin says the absence of Jimmy and Dee Haslam today is a complete joke, in my opinion. The ownership mortgaged its future and signed off on the most guaranteed amount of money on a single contract in NFL history amid allegations of sexual misconduct and assault, and just let Andrew Berry deal with the in-person fallout. What are your thoughts on all of this, guys? Should the owners have been there in person? Do you think Watson's image will ever recover from this? I mean, he could still be suspended by the league and for who knows how long, and the civil suits are still ongoing. But hey, be assured that no matter what happens, I will keep you guys in the know every step of the way. Make sure to sub for more daily news like this, and check out this video here from the previous day's news in case you missed it. And until next time, let's go. How about those